Hello and welcome to your Living A Course in Miracles call. This is Jared Krebs. I'm coming at you live from San Antonio. Today is October 12th, and I am so excited because we're going to be discussing these 4 videos that were selected by Vincent Mann that were phenomenal. I listened to them, I think all of them twice, and just really excited for the conversation. So these are 4 Ken Wapnick videos. They were kind of on very similar topics, but we'll go into them. But why I'm excited is because I'm back here in San Antonio. I'm excited to have a call that can go the full hour and see all of your smiling faces. And that's what I got. Who wants to go next? Where are you calling in from? Why are you excited about today's call?
What up? It's Nathan in Minneapolis. I'm excited about today's call because I just got off another call with Gary Renard, and I'm motivated about forgiveness and stuff.
Wow.
Bro, we want to hear about that.
Yes, for sure.
That's gonna have, you're gonna have your own section of the show.
Spotlight. Hot seat.
Forgiveness spotlight. Okay, who's next?
I'll say, oh, Linda, do you want to go?
Oh,
Linda was raising her hand.
Linda, hold on, let me unmute you, Linda. Okay, Linda, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. How you doing? It's just me, Linda, calling in from Lancaster, California. We have a few clouds, but the weather's getting chillier here, thank God.
Oh, yeah.
I'm used to a little bit cold weather. I mean, I don't mind the hot weather, but I love the cold now.
Sweet. And why are you excited about today's call?
With the videos that Vinny picked, I know they're great. I mean, it teaches you to think more clearly. That's what we have to do.
That's right. Fantastic. Thank you, Linda. All right.
Okay, cool. Now I'll go.
Okay.
I'm Angela Irving, calling from inside a car in Austin, Texas. Too bad Christian's not on here.
We'll see you on the recording.
Yeah. I must confess, I did not listen to videos. I'm sorry, Vincent. No offense. I was choosing between a variety of things that I needed to get done, and I was like, well, I had a really cool experience earlier today of oneness and variety of other things. So I was like, I'm practicing.
That's right. No guilt here. Hey, no guilt here.
Yeah. So I'm here because I like being part of this conversation, regardless of how much of my homework I did.
That's right. You're in the guilt-free zone over here.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Angela. We're excited to hear about your forgiveness in the field and your experience of oneness for sure. And thanks for being here, even if you didn't hear the videos. Rock and roll.
Yay, thanks.
All right. Okay, Vincent Mann, what's up? Oh, wait.
You got to unmute yourself.
I'm here in Arkansas. I'm excited about this call because there's nobody to talk to about this in Arkansas. So, at least I haven't met him yet. So, that's it. And one of the videos is directly related to something that we chatted about on that Skype call after. Kind of about what was meant for Helen. It was that last video, respecting the power of the mind or something like that. So anyway, but yeah, if you get a chance, cool. If not, doesn't matter. Sounds like you're doing it anyway. And there's no, like he said, a guilt-free zone. That's the best.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you, Vincent. I agree. It's nice to have a little group or a community to talk about the course with, and friends like that, like-minded friends. This is also the only place that I have this as well. So super excited about that. And Crystal just walked in. She was shopping. Thanks, babe, for shopping. Hear a background noise. All right, so let's get started. I want to give a shout out, first of all, to Kelly Conley for this YouTube playlist, because it's so convenient to go to Kelly's link and then just hit the top one, and then it just plays all 4 in a row. I don't have to go find the link anywhere. It's just there for me. So thank you, Kelly Conley, and anybody who watches this video. You can always access our playlist. In fact, I'll leave the playlist in the comments of the YouTube video, so you can access all of our videos in the order that we watch them. So I watched all 4 of these twice because I really felt like I didn't take advantage of the Melos videos that we watched the last 2 weeks, and I just was like, no, this is too good of stuff. I really gotta make an effort here. So the first one on mind wandering, for me, it was, I hear some background noise, so I'm just gonna mute everybody but me. Okay, so the stuff on mind wandering, my highlights were basically that he says, Helen, Jesus told Helen, you're far too tolerant of mind wandering. And so I was like, okay, what does that mean exactly? Because is it about like the things that we're trying to achieve in this false reality, like our goals, or is it just like our negativity stuff? And it was the negativity stuff. And so that made me kind of like, okay, cool. And so it made me, I guess, less tolerant of my own mind wandering or looking at my own mind wandering. And that was very valuable. So that was the first video. The second one, the journey from mindlessness to mindfulness, he kind of lays out the metaphysics of the Course, like in a big major way. And I have some great forgiveness in the field stuff that I'm going to share with you later. But mainly the whole thing is like, what I got from it is the only problem is the decision to be separate from God that was made at the level of the mind, the decision-making mind. Well, I think all my other problems have to do with these other things, and that's my guilt rising up, and I'm trying to throw my guilt on all these people that piss me off or whatever. But if I could see that, oh no, this is my guilt that's risen up, but it's actually because of my decision to be separate from God. And then if I can catch it kind of like at that point, then I'm really operating at the level of the mind. I'm catching it. I'm doing the thought system of the Holy Spirit. So that is obviously that's like really cool. And I had some success there. So I'm going to share that on the time to share forgiveness in the field. The third video, respecting the power of I can't read exactly what the video says, but basically it's respecting people's decision to like go with the ego and not trying to interrupt them and be like the Course in Miracles police and be like, hey man, that's your ego, or trying to like, spew my Course in Miracles metaphysics onto somebody. But if I see someone making a decision to follow the ego or to, let's say, do something that I don't think is the best for them, I'm actually discounting the power of their decision-making mind. And so it's much better to be like Jesus, have that infinite patience, and basically let them, because eventually they will decide with the Holy Spirit. Maybe not in this lifetime, maybe in another one, hopefully in this one. But time is not real. So just having that mentality of not getting in somebody's way definitely was very helpful this week. And also to notice when I'm in that funk too, like to not judge that, it's like, it's just what I have to go through or whatnot to resolve it. So that was very, very valuable. And the lady asks a question at the beginning of that one. The fourth one was cause and effect. And I think that was, I almost said what probably what I said about the second video is also similar to the fourth video. He lays out the metaphysics of the Course. And there was something on the fourth video, but I'm going to have someone else probably jog my memory about it. But I found these videos to be very, very valuable, and also was able to apply those things that I was learning in my life to this week. So very, very good stuff. Thank you, Vincent. Great choices. That's what I got. All right, who's next? What were your highlights from the 4 videos? Who wants to share?
Hey,
Nathan Lively.
all right. Journey from mindlessness. That was one, right?
That was the second one, yes.
So let's see. The world was made to confuse us about where the problems are.
Oh, yeah.
So we fled the mind into the world, into billions of fragments, and forgot where we came from. And then I like when he talks about recognizing that nothing here works. You know, Ken mentions that a lot in a lot of his videos. The problem is that I've chosen the ego, but I can choose again. And then a couple things I liked in The Power of the Mind. Before you do anything, you must look at yourself. So that was great for me because you guys know I've talked about this in other meetings where I have level confusion and I think, oh, I'm not supposed to stop anyone from doing anything. But then Ken says, no, but you can, protect yourself and put up boundaries and, stop people from doing things or guide them to do things or whatever. But so then I get confused because I think, well, which is it? Do I not do anything or do I do anything? And so it was really nice to hear him say, before you do anything, you must look at yourself, because that made it more clear to me that it's more about this 1-2 process of I look at myself and then I act, so that any action that comes after I have done my forgiveness work is then not coming from the ego.
Yes, and you're peaceful about it.
Yeah.
Love.
Jared already mentioned respecting other people's choice in the ego. I thought that was really interesting because that's the same power that will eventually choose God. Oh, this is good. Don't be motivated to change them. Be motivated to love them. Oh, and this is really, I keep thinking about this. This is one of the problems that I have with pets and kids, is that it's just so easy to get mad at them. So when you get angry, you're saying, you are right. You have an omnipotent ego. You have become God. So I love when he can say things that are just really clear, like, never get angry at a child because this is what you're telling them. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Quiet defenselessness. Let's see. Cause and effect. We seek for the cause outside ourselves. That's what I want to share with you. Oh yeah, this course helps us shrink the gap between cause and effect. That's it.
Bro,
thanks.
Love.
Yo.
Thanks, Nathan. All right, who's next? What were your highlights?
I'll go. Kind of what Nate was saying about being able to, you shouldn't do anything in the world of bodies. And then he's kind of like, you can do something in the world of bodies. I was watching another video a couple weeks ago from Ken, and he was like, a lady had asked that in the crowd, and she was like, but, if you're being attacked, there was that whole argument. And then he's like, you can do something in the world, but ask the Holy Spirit for guidance first, kind of, I guess was kind of what he was going at, which was a really cool thing. Cause I mean, we've been doing this illusion thing since birth. So it's kind of like, it's, and then Gary even says like, okay, in the morning, set up and ask for guidance. I wake up and it's automatic now. It's like, Holy Spirit, I take your hand and put you in charge of my day, ask you to, please guide me to a right-mindedness. And because he's like, the World Trade Centers are bombed. It's like, you don't have time to ask the Holy Spirit. You just act. And if you put the Holy Spirit in charge at the get-go, you don't have to necessarily worry about that because you've kind of already given the, ask for that guidance. So that's pretty awesome. So the mind wandering, I had, he's talking about, Jay can't take the fear away from you because it's in your mind, which is awesome. But he can help by removing the conditions that led to fear, which is choosing separateness. That's my whole thing lately has been just remembering that it's a script that's done. The movie's over. We're watching it. We just think we're the actor in it. And man, that's useful. Takes away all that fear and that guilt. Yes.
Yes.
So there's another either Gary or a Ken video. He's like about mind wandering. Just when you find yourself where your thoughts are, it happens to everybody every day. It's kind of like, okay, what was I just pining over? It's like you say mind wandering is not okay, and then you forgive yourself. I mean, you don't have to beat yourself up. They're like, oh, I'm not doing the course 100%. Just mind wandering is not okay. You know, I know the separation is not true. I forgive those projections and those thoughts, and I forgive myself for projecting, and I choose the Holy Spirit instead. Boom, you're free. You know, it's super liberating. Yep.
Awesome.
As you say, mic drop on that one. Let's see. Remember who the decision maker is. That's awesome as well. I mean, it's the mind. It's not the body or the name we call ourselves, or and then not you as the body, but you that is the right mind. How are you going to get rid of sin? Since it's in your mind, you either project it into the world and other people, or you sit quietly and look at it and remember where it came from. It's your projection of guilt over the original separation idea, that tiny mad thought, tiny mad idea. And again, you forgive yourself for projecting it. Another great quote, I get Ken and Gary mixed up. It's how can you get mad at anyone else for the dreams you had last night? And it's the same thing in your waking dream. Like, how can you get mad at anybody in the world, you know, by projecting that guilt onto them when it's just your own? It's just phenomenal idea there. Journey from mindlessness to mindfulness, ego's preservation, which its method is to convince us that we're bodies and not minds. The ego is life, death, body, pain, struggle. It's basically a trap that's designed to keep us in that ego state of mind. And I think you just said, Jared, like, nothing in this world works. If it does work, it works for a little while, but nothing works forever. And the only constant is the eternal and changeless. That's what's real and true. And nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. So there's those punch phrases you hear in a lot of those videos that are just, they come back when it starts making more and more sense with each thing we go through. And then again, the only two emotions, love and fear. I think you said chapter 13, but I know it's all over the place. Yeah. Respecting the power of the mind when it comes to interacting with other people who you perceive as acting out. You see their ego issues. It's super challenging to watch without engaging, because you want to help people because you think you have the answers, but you're trying to help a body that you projected that's actually another seemingly separated portion of you. So I used on that Skype call after last week, it was like, there's that old kind of an adage about, okay, so you have a caterpillar who winds itself up and it's going through the stage where it's going to become a butterfly. And if you help it out of that, it's not going to be strong enough. You know, part of its development is being able to get out of the cocoon so its wings are strong enough and it can fly. So it's kind of like you don't want to do anything for anybody else that is going to hinder their growth. And that's maybe what they're going through. Or, you know, let's see. I'm personally going through trying to make a change when it comes to face-to-face interactions. You know, since it's never about anyone else, there's no one else. We're all the same. I try to, while I'm having conversations, you know, Ken always like, be normal. So, you know, it's like, okay, you can think to yourself while holding the conversation, you are perfect spirit. All is forgiven, you know, wait, what is it? Your perfect spirit, all is whole.
You are Christ, pure and innocent, all is forgiven and released.
Yep. And then as you see your brother, you see yourself. So it's like, and those conversations seem to change. And it's almost like Charlie Brown, where it's like the teachers and adults are talking. It's like, wah, wah, wah. It's still a good conversation and you're being normal, but it's kind of like, it's more of a holy instant with your brothers. And then in that third video, again, it's like, mistake is not a sin. And since time's holographic, you can forgive anything that happened as far back as you can remember. It doesn't matter if you don't forgive right away, it just matters that you forgive. And eventually, through diligence, you forgive more and more quickly, all those things. And then cause and effect, mind is the cause, effect is the illusion in the world. And whether you choose the Holy Spirit or the ego, Holy Spirit is extension, the ego is projection. So you can extend love or you can project that guilt into somebody else. You're never upset for the reasons you think. Just remember what teacher you're looking at the world with. That's pretty much all of my Ken Wapnick observations for this week.
Bro, awesome. You're hella prepared. I could see you had like your notes in another screen or something, right? You were just on it.
Got my phone next to my iPad, and yeah.
Bro, it was like you had a teleprompter or something. It was awesome.
Right on.
But I mean, everything you said obviously resonates big time, and yeah, you're just mastering the content, just like.
I'm not. I'm just trying to remember the content.
Well, I think you master the content by living it, right? And
right.
Being the example of it. But you do have to know it before you can practice it. And
right.
You know, so definitely kudos to you, Vincent, and thank you for selecting these great videos.
For sure. What is it you have to, for vocabulary, you have to hear a word 20 or 30 times before it becomes a part of your vocabulary. And it's kind of like, you know, there's so much repetition in the course that it's almost the same way. And that's why these videos are awesome. Mm-hmm. Like you can reinforce and eventually it just becomes
your native tongue.
Yeah.
I'm reading the course right now, chapter 22, and it talks about how we're kind of infants at this level of, you know, we're reading the course and we're learning the language of forgiveness and the thought system, and we're still shaky, kind of like a baby that is learning a language, but eventually, but it's our ancient language. It's more ancient than the language of the ego, and eventually it's
start remembering it. It's learning it. You're remembering it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really great. And again, it's not just what you say, it's how you live. And
right.
That's also part of, you know, we're shaky at the beginning, like probably still more than half the time, I'm still think I'm ego Jared and I live like ego Jared. But then I'm like about 40 to 50% of the time, hopefully I'm getting better, becoming more Course in Miracles, not Jared. I'm not a body.
Right.
Free.
Right.
I feel as God created me, you know, like, and I think that's the journey, right? And it's a gradual journey. I think we all want to wake up faster. We all want it to happen quicker, but it's gradual, man. So let's just stick with it. Go one step at a time, one day at a time. And it's already happened. So that's my, you know, sometimes I think, oh gosh, this is like such a hard journey, but it's already happened. We've already all succeeded. It's already over. You know, so of course that doesn't just mean I can stop doing it, but.
Right. And then the good stuff, you know, he says the course isn't about affecting the world, but in that holographic universe, by doing these forgiveness, you do change. You may not have certain lessons to learn. I mean, any amount of effort that you can go through in learning the course, you bring with you through the next the next lifetime, if you have to do next lifetimes and all that other stuff. So that's encouraging as well.
Yeah, that's right. We transferred over to the next lifetime and finish the job.
Yeah.
I'm all about finishing the job this lifetime.
Yeah, I'm over this place. Planet Earth is overrated. Let's get out. Let's get out of this dream.
Peace out. Thank you, Vincent. Linda Pettigrew, what were your highlights from the videos? I know you did your homework.
Okay. I watched the videos and I found them very interesting. Vincent, you really did great videos. I mean, you just hit it right on the door. The first one, mind wandering. When our mind wanders, is our ego could be leading us in a bad way, miscreating our misconception. That's where we need the Holy Spirit's help to think better, do and say better, and to everything we would do, to the simplest and to the most difficult task in our lives, everyday life. Whether you think it's very important or not, but only the Holy Spirit knows, and that's the truth. Always ask in the God of your understanding for help, and the Holy Spirit, they will be pleased to help you 24/7, because they're up there in heaven in spirit, and they don't mind helping you because they love you to the moon and back. The next video, the journey from mindlessness to mindfulness, that was interesting. Jesus is our way back home, where he can be here with us into everything we do in our lives, or the God of your understanding. You have to think like your God. Put yourself in God's shoes. it'll help you think.
Linda, you're kind of going in and out. Like, we don't hear you very well. You sound good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my
Okay.
finger must be hitting the mic. I'm sorry.
Okay. Go ahead. Continue on.
Like the journey from mindlessness to mindfulness, Jesus is our way back home, where he can be with us into everything we do in our lives. So you have to think in your God's shoes. Put it that way. Respecting the power of the mind is the third video. This is where you have to understand how the other person may be in an opposite mood, and most people are, or just respect that, whether they agree with you or not. You know you are thinking clearly now with the Course in Miracle book that you have in your life, right? And maybe the other person in it, they don't understand it, but there's nothing you can do for them. I mean, you're able to get yourself into this by yourself, and that's just it, you know? I mean, your God help you, but it's you that have to want something, not the other person. That's how it works. I know that from experience. Let me see what, no. Maybe it's a let go and let God kind of a situation that is highly recommended. So you have to like just think and pray and meditate about it to let go and let God take care of this. The cause and effect. I hope I explained this the best I could. When we make a decision on anything, we have to have the God of understanding within us. The cause is our mind, is how we think, and the effect is the world around us and our bodies, I think. Like I said, I hope I got this right. We are not in charge of the world, only ourselves, and maybe our bodies, since we have to walk in it and work in our bodies. But we are responsible for our ego, or for what we do. And that's it. You need to take a better look at yourself when you watch this video, okay? That's my advice. This should be even standard for step group. Because if any 12-step group go to watch this video, they may understand that. Duh. And that's the way I say it.
Great job.
I'll come to you. I'll get straight to the point.
Hey, I love following along with your notes. I love how you post your notes of like what you learned from each video. Like, and what did you do? You posted this yesterday at 10 in the morning. So actually 8 in the morning California time. Yeah, man, rock and roll. It was great to follow along with you on your notes. Thank you for sharing.
I do the best I can. I'm not perfect. I'm only about 25 years clean from cocaine. That's all.
Sounds pretty perfect to me.
Well, it was God that kicked me in the butt to get me out of that, so I'm glad he did.
Awesome. Thank you, Linda. All right, let's go to forgiveness in the field, folks. And we have the great Angela Irving, who has not shared yet. So let's hear from you, Angela, on your experience of oneness, and then we'll just go on down the line.
Hey, Ange, sing the tune for us.
I'm going to talk. Okay, well, let's see. I'll start with there is a person that I've recognized in my life that I think she's just going to be a recurring forgiveness lesson.
Slow burn.
And yeah. And it's interesting because I've had other people in my life in the past that I've recognized, like in hindsight, oh, that was just a forgiveness lesson. And I feel like this person, it's not as charged because the phrase "forgive them for they know not what they do" continuously comes up for this person, because I recognize that she's not trying to do the things that she's not trying to be malicious. She's not trying to lack integrity. She's not trying to do the things that I would like to, blame her for. And so I'm not, I can't, it doesn't make sense for me to be mad at her. It's that she doesn't know that she's doing this. She doesn't know what she's doing. So she's calling out for love, and it's something that she dreadfully needs, and I just have to continue to love her and to forgive her, and forgive myself for wanting to judge her. So that's not my experience of oneness, but that was the one most obvious one that I wanted to start with. So the whole oneness thing, a friend of mine is shooting, he makes amateur films, and I'm going to be in one that starts shooting tomorrow, and it's his adaptation of Dracula, and I'm Mina, and that's really cool. I have a tendency to go really, really, really far into the characters that I portray as much as possible, and I was going through, I don't know, this is really an interesting thing. Like, I was sort of losing a sense of reality, which is a really interesting thing for the conversation in, A Course in Miracles anyway, because what is reality other than like oneness, and, not being in this world. And so it was the whole experience of, preparing this character sort of brings up a lot of questions of like, what is real? Like, is me pretending to be this person more real than what we're doing right now? It's like a lot of really interesting questions like that. But I would say I went through all the lines that I'm going to be saying tomorrow, and I don't even really know how to describe it, but I was in a really beautiful setting. I was in this car and I was looking out at plants, and I was just sort of getting inside the mind of what I believed would be Mina. And I had this just really, I don't know, I would say like it was a kind of a clear experience of how everyone is perfect, but they don't know it. Everyone is missing something in their life. And some of us know that it's our experience of oneness with God, or is our enlightenment. And I was just really getting in touch with this character Mina's experience of missing something. And in the show, in the movie, play, book, or whatever, at least this adaptation, Dracula's world sort of represents what she's missing. But I don't, I went really deep into it, but it was just kind of, I was just got really, really present with everyone is missing something, and not everybody realizes what it is. And I think that every story that we tell each other has something to do with that.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, everybody has the same need to wake up from the dream. Everybody has the same right mind, the same wrong mind or ego mind. And yeah, there's a whole lot of sameness behind these forms that appear different.
Yeah.
That's cool. You
Yeah.
saw the sameness. That's kind of what I'm reading about in my course right now.
Cool.
That's a revelation. That's a holy instant right there. You had that everybody's lacking something, or they feel, and they do, and we all search for it externally in the world of the body, but it's so, it's in the mind. That's huge. And the first situation you were talking about with your friend, I mean, respecting the power of the mind, that video, pretty much, it feels like you watched that video and then explain based on what that video is about. Like, it's pretty spot on about kind of like, and reoccurring characters may reoccur for a little while, but again, this is the world of bodies and illusion is going to change. They're going to disappear. I've had 4 people leave work in the past 6 months that I had forgiveness issues with, because I kept forgiving them and kept forgiving them. And I mean, these were people I thought were going to be there longer than I was. So it's like, there will be changes in the world, and that person will, like everybody else, will come and go. There'll be other forgiveness opportunities. But yeah, that's, I'm, my body and my ego is jealous of your, that holy that you had getting into the character. That's huge, because you could take that out of there. I mean, that wasn't that wasn't you or the character who had that revelation. That's, you know, that you had an experience based on, you know, having right-mindedness with your character research. That's awesome.
Yeah, you nailed it on the head, because it didn't feel like Angela did something.
Mm-hmm. Right, because there is no Angela. And what's your character name?
Mina.
Mina. Okay. Awesome. So Mina's every bit as real as Angela is. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's really, really funny. And like my friend who's, you know, the director producer of the film, like it just sort of came to me, like I understood her motivation. I understood where she was coming from. And I just like started texting, and I was like, hey, I found my version of Mina. And I just started thumb typing to him, and he was like, ah! He just like freaked out. He was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. And you know, now that you've had that experience, it's something you can go back to whenever you need it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You had it. That's that holy instant. Like, that's, congratulations. That's huge. That's huge.
Thanks.
For both,
yeah,
for both
it was really cool.
movie and for your life period, you know, like, that's rad.
Yeah, it felt very, very complete. It felt very like, well, my job is done today.
Right.
All right. So who wants to share their forgiveness in the field next?
Hey.
Ethan.
So let's see. Forgiveness in the field. I had to do some filming today for one of my courses, and sometimes I forget to let my wife know about that, and she's been complaining recently about me not being very thoughtful of her needs. So I remembered, and then yesterday I said, hey, I need to do some filming in the living room tomorrow. Hope that's okay with you. And then it was not okay with her. And then we kind of got into it about that. And it was good. You know, I have a lot of practice with stuff with my wife, with Ellis. So as we were kind of getting into it, like I was doing my forgiveness work, and I was thinking of her as innocence and Holy Spirit, and I still ended up kind of getting triggered and getting angry, but I didn't see that as a failure, and I was able to continue at least talking and having a conversation, to whereas I think in the past I may have not even been able to just keep talking. I may have just walked out. And yeah, I guess that's it. There's no fantastic ending. We did work it out later, but that's my forgiveness in the field.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Bring it. Hey, man, that's major progress. You know, the spouse or the significant other, that's your special partner, right? That's the forgiveness in the field part. That's you're transforming that into a holy relationship, right? Like, and seeing her as that innocent being. And trust me, I'm in the same boat. You know, I'm in fact, I'll just transition into mine real fast, because it's very same you know vein. It's like me and Crystal, we're a team, and so my forgiveness in the field had to do with our budget. So we had our budget all planned out, and then we had the fashion awards last night. So she needed to go buy a dress and then get it altered, and like all these charges started coming through on our card. I get a text about it, and I'm like working out. And she already knew, you know, I like all my triggers went off, like just like about her not being a team player, or like just upset, like, and then I saw it, because I had been listening to those Ken Wapnick videos, and I'm like, that's my guilt. My guilt has come up, and I'm gonna blame it on Crystal, and I'm gonna she's the reason I'm mad. And I'm never upset for the reason I think, right? So I caught it, though. I was like, oh, this is my guilt. The real problem is that I chose to be separate, and I'm just choosing to make Crystal the reason why I'm upset right now. And so I caught it, right? I successfully dealt with it, but she still wasn't there for me to like talk to about it, because I was working out and she was out in the city buying stuff. So when she got home, like, oh, by the way, so I was like happy, but then I was like mad again because it's like a slow burn. Like the thought came back about, okay, we're gonna have to restructure things. And I mean, it's not even that much money. It's just like, I don't know. I was just gone. I was too far gone on it. But it was a slow burn. In other words, I handled it well. And then I think of it again, like 5 minutes later, and I'd get pissed off. And then I'd have to ask, and I'd try to like handle it and stop it or catch it, whatever, not stop it, but maybe just see it properly. And then I would 5 minutes or 10 minutes later, I'd get pissed off again. So I'm like, this is a slow burn. And I'm like, Holy Spirit, help. Holy Spirit, help. And then I kept remembering to these Ken Wapnick videos, and it was like, I have to be peaceful, because if I'm demonstrating like love and peace, then I've chosen correctly, and then she can do that too. If I can be that, example. But at the same time, it does need to be addressed, because obviously we have to be a team. We have to have maintain our household. We have to still, in this world of form, we still have to take care of things. I can't just lay over and let her kind of overspend, let's say. So I had the conversation with her about it when she got home, but I did it in like a peaceful way, and I did it better than I would have done it, for sure. And I was kind, and I even shared with her all the stuff I'm sharing with you. Like, I told her exactly like how I was blaming her, and that was the cause, but the real reason is the decision of the mind to be separate, and I feel guilty over that. Like, I told her all that. So we resolved it. Everything's fine. But that's like big time progress. Same vein of Nathan, as far as catching it. And that's what I got to say. So thank you for listening. That's my forgiveness in the field.
Cool.
Way to go.
Nice.
Thanks. All right. Who's next?
I'll jump. Yeah, it's the two choices. You either extend love, or you project the ego. You're again, seeing it pop up. I like the way you describe. You feel it rising up, and then all you got to do, you look at it. Is this fear and anxiety, or is this a loving thought? At that point, then you choose your decision maker. Figure out who you're looking at. It's such a good way of looking at it. I appreciate that example. Now, special relationships. This week's been rough because I've had to forgive my cat for not having thumbs. He can't even get a job. You know what I mean? He can't even do math. He's such an idiot. But I'm kidding, obviously. I got him prosthetics, and so he's been doing work at home stuff, little telemarketing. But lately I'm getting antsy at work. Like, it's like, okay, I don't want to be here right now. And then I get antsy, and I'm like, I'm not even here. It's just, I figure out, because there's that thing, there's no slight upsets. There's no hierarchy and illusions or dreams. So it's like anything that disturbs my peace is the ego rising up. And it's like, I could try to blow it off or try to sneak out early, but it has nothing to do with work. It has nothing to do with Vince Mann or anything like that. It's all just these forgiveness opportunities. And I know it doesn't seem huge, but it is. It's just something I continually work through and have to forgive as it pops up. And last week's forgiveness lessons, where I had there's a kind of a upcoming issue that I got to deal with, and the more that's been, as a slow burn, the more I forgive that, it's like suddenly all of the work it's kind of like it's doing itself. Like nothing is a problem. It's forgiving works. I mean, it really does. You can pine over something for an hour, 2 hours, 3 days, a week, or you can just let it go as it comes up. And if it comes back, let it go again. So, such a relief. Such a relief.
Oh, hold on, Vincent. Hold on. Hey, you were kind of going in and out for a little bit there at the end. I'm not sure. It sounds like maybe something might be touching your microphone or something.
I've got a external battery pack hooked up. That might be my issue. My phone went into low power mode. My fault.
It was fine for the most part. But yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing, Vincent.
For sure.
Awesome. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, thanks for putting up with me. I appreciate being a part of the calls. I really do.
Hell yeah. We're glad you're here.
What are you talking about putting up with you?
I don't know. I mean, because I don't know anything. I read
He's a
the course
handful.
and try to do the stuff. That's all. I mean,
No, we're
And
glad,
there's no such thing as huge.
we're glad you're here, bro. Keep it up.
You're
Right
like,
on.
it may not be
Appreciate it.
huge,
Heck
but
yeah.
you know.
What?
Because you were like, oh, it may not be a huge thing. When you were like, oh, it was like, it may not seem like a huge thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, there's no order of, there's no hierarchy.
Difficulty. Yeah, it's so true. And those little, the sneaky little bastards that you just gotta pay attention to. Like, I could easily just brush that off and allow it to continue to pester me, but that's my peace. That's my peace it's messing with. I don't want that. You know?
Right.
I want to be peaceful.
Hell yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, man, something's going on with your mic. I don't know what it is, but it's like, and then it's like,
I'll go on mute here.
okay, awesome, bro. Linda Pettigrew, what was your forgiveness in the field?
Well, for me, I mean, I had to like set my schedule to this, that, and the other thing, and I mean, I had to go put my health insurance about a bill that I got. So it's, I mean, it's trying to do everything. You know, you have to like clean house, talk to someone, and then do something else. And you have to do food shopping. So it's running your errands. But the thing is, I mean, it's like sometimes, which is almost most of the time, I get so tired, and it's because of my diverticulitis. That scares me, but and plus at the same time I have something else affecting me too. So it's I'll just take either Flagyl or ibuprofen that I'll take, and I'll take a nap, and maybe I'll feel better in an hour or so. So I do feel better now. So I have to like make dinner for Mark and I, and I'll see maybe what I feel like doing tonight. But it's like ever since I got my diverticulitis, I just like to stay home. And plus, my bunny is right here. She misses all ears, and she loves you all, her aunts and uncles, especially her Uncle Jared. Hey,
Hi, Lucy.
hello, Uncle Jared.
Hi, Lucy.
Aunt Angela, and Uncle Benny, Uncle Chris, and Uncle Nathan, huh?
Yes.
Hello, baby girl.
Hi, Lucy, baby.
She's my furry daughter.
Hey, Linda.
But I want her to be alive. That's the way I do it. She comes first, and then me, and then everybody else.
Hey, Linda.
That's the way I do it.
Linda. Don't forget, like, one of the things, all right, again, I'm going to go with Gary Wapnick or Ken Renard, because I keep, you know, there. So remember, you are not a body. You're perfect spirit, and your body has nothing to do with it. You know what I mean?
know.
It's your concern. Just, you know, you're awesome. You're awesome. Just remember that, okay?
I try not to think of my body, but when I do, I mean, when I get my diverticulitis, I have to like rest on my couch, and that's all I can do.
Right. But remember, you're your mind. You only control your thoughts are the only you control. And
You're right.
But I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong, because it's not my position.
I do. Phone number, Vinny. I like Arkansas. I'm gonna let you live another day.
Thank you. I know you're from New York, and I don't want you to put a hit out on me, all right? But I'm from Detroit, so I got some people too. I'm kidding.
Oh, so you're a country boy in the northern states, huh?
Yeah.
I'm from New York.
Yep. I know. Believe me.
I have to agree with Jared. You have to be frugal. Mark teaches me that you have to be frugal. I mean, right now I have like $12 in my pocket. I have $10 in my checking account. I just got my disability check in the third. And the next time I get my disability check is November 3rd. I just had the bank pull out like $400 on my checking account. I have cracks in my name.
You got money.
Something I did in the past, but I'm doing the
There's
best
no
I can.
lack. Sounds like you're buying lunch, all right? You got money. There's no lack. There's no lack.
Thank you,
I'll do the
Linda.
best I can.
Thank you, Linda.
Love
Rock
you.
and roll. Love you too.
Rock and roll. Disco. Snows on
That's what I'm talking
45.
about. All right, so the last 5 minutes or so goes to Mr. Nathan Lively, who just had a session with Gary Renard himself, one-on-one for 60 minutes. Bruh, we want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. What was your highlights from Gary Renard? What did you learn?
Oh.
Oh my God! I wish I could have recorded that.
It's been recorded.
Yeah, I forgot most of it already. Let me see if I can remember a couple things.
Did you record it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I asked him what was the best way to handle that, and he said it was all right if I recorded it. So, so the first thing I asked was, I've always wanted to have a spiritual experience and never have. And he said, I think Jared maybe has said this a while in the past, that I had some spiritual experiences in past lives as a Hindu or a Buddhist, and that's where most of them happen for most people. And so I shouldn't be worried about them. And I think I'll have to go back and listen, but I think he pretty much said it's not going to happen for me this lifetime. I said, all right, well, fuck. So, what else? I don't know. What are the things I can remember? Vitamin C is a good thing. It was funny. I mean, I got off the call thinking, like, I guess everyone needs a crazy guru. I was like, should I take Max 1? And he was like, yeah, you can buy it on my site. And I was like, all right. That's
Max 1?
good coincidence.
What's
Yeah,
that?
you have to read Love Has Forgotten No One.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary sells supplements, man. Everyone who's cool sells supplements, okay?
It's pretty funny. He was like, people say network marketing is a bad thing. It's not such a bad thing. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? It's pretty funny. I was like, where's Jared? Get him on the call.
Seriously.
That was just the last few minutes, because we were basically talking spiritual path stuff for like a good 45 minutes, and then I just had to interrupt him and be like, hey, I gotta ask these questions on the level of form, otherwise I don't know, I'm just gonna get done with the call and like be nervous. And he was like, all right. So I just asked him a few things about like my health, and I mean, I don't know. It's just all funny. I really wanted to know about like what's going on with my business. Like, is there anything I can do to be a better entrepreneur? And I don't know, just the whole thing was kind of motivational. There's nothing, I don't know if there's anything specific I can walk away from the call and say like, now I'm going to eat red M&Ms and fucking take over the world. But he did just motivational. He was like, yeah, Art and Persa say that you're going to come up with, there's something else you're going to have in the future that you're going to latch on to, like a product or a service, I guess, that will be like the main thing for you, and it'll be great. And that's the thing that you're going to focus on. And I was like, okay, ask him what it is. And he was like, I can't tell you. And I was like, fuck, what? So I don't know. It was a fun call. I think I'm going to probably do it again in 6 months or something. I don't even know why I did it. And I can't really justify the expense or the time. I just feel motivated to do it. And I think it's just another piece, just like coming to these meetings with you guys, that just motivates me to keep doing the work. Because honestly, I don't think he said anything in the call that I haven't read in his books or heard him talk before. I mean, he would start saying things to me like, oh yeah, well, you know about blood pressure. And I was like, yeah, I read your last book. And he was like, oh, okay, well, you know already. I'm like, yeah, all right. So, it's just motivational. And I'm excited I was afraid he was going to be like, you got to do 50,000 push-ups a day or something, like where I was going to be like, I can't do it. But he was like, yeah, Art and Persa say, take the stuff that we talked about, this session and do it once a day. And I was like, oh, really? That's it? Sweet.
Cool.
That was the meeting.
Wow. Man, kudos to you on making it happen. I mean, an hour with Gary Renard is very special. And yeah, bro, so super glad you were able to do it and that it was very beneficial.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for suggesting it.
Yeah, of course. Okay, well, it's 7:59 Central Time already. We're out of time. Who wants to choose the next series of Ken Wapnick videos? Who hasn't done it for a while?
I haven't done it in a while, but I'm pretty slammed this week. I have like back-to-back jobs. Can somebody else do it?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
The earliest I could do it would be like Sunday night, and even that's a stretch. Probably Monday.
I've watched them all. I'll do it again if you want. I'll
Yes.
take 3. If people
Stepping up.
with scene 4 is a little excessive even at 30 minutes. I mean, it's just from observing, like I feel like if it's more manageable, a smaller bite, I think it might be easier for everybody to, because everybody's busy. I mean, or at least we're pretending we are, right?
I kind of like 30 minutes. I like having.
Yeah, I like 30. It's not I have time to listen to them like when I drive or do anything, but the picking them takes a little while.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, I'll do it. I don't care. I mean, if
Okay.
you're good with it, I'm good with it.
Bro, double duty. All right. Thank you for doing that, Vincent. Yeah, go ahead and just select about 4. Go ahead and post it on the Facebook group, and we'll roll with it next week.
Okay. Thematically, was that cool that they were all kind of similar in nature? I mean, or would you rather have more variety?
Do what you feel led to do. Like the Holy Spirit, put the Holy Spirit in charge of it.
All right, I'm gonna put 40 ounces of Old English in charge, and we'll see what happens, man. I'm kidding.
Old English, yay!
Oh man.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all. Let's go ahead and have everyone end the call by saying good night and God bless.
Good night and God bless.
Bye.
Good night and God bless.
Good night and God bless. Bye.
Good night. I'm Stan and Mark saying good night and God bless to you all.
Good night, Mark, and God bless.